You can help with the guests and all the rest, and we'll never stop till we take it to the top. To the top, not the bottom of the top. To the top. To the top.
My name is Richie Phillips, former radio co-host in Albany, New York, and current podcast host. And this is the podcast where somehow, some way, we come up with a topic or a category or an upcoming event, maybe some kind of genre of music. I try to investigate who one of the top people are in that arena, or maybe you tell me who you'd like to have on this podcast. I then lose my fears, lose all my insecurities, of which there are many, and I take it to the top until I get these people on my podcast. I also cover the top issues of the day musically when I get a chance, because I've always been a song satirist and musician at heart. I was on the air for 30 years on a top country station in Albany, New York. I'm still playing radio here. I'm just playing it in my basement. I'm sure I will stumble on a topic that you are interested in as this podcast matures, but I'm just kind of feeling my way as we go along here. The top is available on Apple iTunes and the podcast app, or on Apple and Android devices on the Podbean app. Both of them are free. All you got to do is type in Richie Phillips. Don't try to type in the top, because not thinking, when I registered the name of the top, I didn't realize that there are about 4,800 podcasts with the words top in it, or the top, or take it to, or something like that. So it finds everything, and it gets a little annoying. So just look for Richie Phillips, and that's how you find it. My website, by the way, to book me for entertainment at your wedding, your private party, your retirement function, or your conference is hirerichie.com. HIRERICHIE.com. That's my website address. I am Ryman Richie Phillips on Facebook. No G on Ryman. It's Ryman, RHYMIN, and then Richie Phillips on Facebook. Email address, richie1077@gmail.com. Wow. Well, that's the podcast. Have a good day. No, I'll have all that information in the show notes, and you can look at that to your heart's content. This particular podcast is being recorded in February, and in January and February, what are people most thinking about? Well, if you're of a certain age group, I would say you're thinking about your wedding. And we've already done 2 episodes of this topic, both with a venue owner in upstate New York here, in Altamont, New York, cleverly called the Altamont Manor. The venue owner is Harvey Vlahos. He did an excellent job describing some of the things you should look for when looking for a venue, some of the questions you should ask, some really helpful tips in booking a venue, and you can find those episodes. They are titled Wedding Tips 1 and Wedding Tips 2. He also happens to be a photographer and a videographer, so he also has tips in that department as well. Now, to finish this up, in episode number 3, we're going to delve a little deeper into music, into DJing. I happen to be one. I've done it for over 25 years. I definitely think I can offer you tips from the experiences I've had, and so I kind of throw in my 2 cents. But the guy who's really, really done it in this area, and not only does it himself, but he books other DJs, his name is Scott Hemming. He runs SEH Entertainment, and I'm one of the DJs listed in his particular company as well. I thought it'd be really great to have him on to get his perspective, maybe some helpful tips from his end, and see if his philosophy of doing a wedding jives with mine. We had a really good discussion. This was my talk with Scott Hemming from SEH Entertainment here on The Top. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Richie, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm talking Italian now. I don't know why.
Well, we do Italian weddings, of course.
We do Italian. We do Italian weddings. We do any type of wedding.
Any kind of a wedding.
Same-sex marriage weddings, you name it.
Exactly.
Any kind of wedding you want.
Exactly. Yeah, there goes the script, right?
Fun.
There goes the script. When you first approached me to do this, and then you told me, I'll never forget it, how many weddings you did that year that we first started getting together. Didn't you tell me you did like 150 weddings yourself?
I do an average of 80 to like 100 weddings, and I do about 150 jobs a year. I also do private parties, you name it. I do nursing homes, things like that. And I get into the whole aspect of the entertainment business.
Well, we've got that in common. I do exactly the same thing.
And I'm also into the lighting as well. I worked for a lighting company back in 1991, I think it was, from 91 to 2000. So I was doing stage rigging and things like that and got into the lighting. So now I offer the lighting with the DJ service as well.
Mm-hmm.
We do up lighting, monogram lighting. We have these love letters that light up that the brides and grooms seem to like. They're like 4 feet tall, LED. We can change them any color you want.
I've seen them, and everybody's seen them when we do the wedding shows. You get to see these things in the flesh, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the monogram lighting is pretty cool, too. They can have their own special monogram on the dance floor. We can project it on a wall, project it anywhere. If they wanted their initials or their wedding date with their initials, whatever they want, we can customize that to what they're looking for. And then we also offer the uplighting, which is, we can change the color of the room from blue to white to purple, pink, orange, you name it. So it's nice little features that we can offer our brides and grooms.
One-stop shopping. If you were to put all the pieces of a wedding on 3x5 cards and put them in order of importance, all the parts of the wedding that you have to plan, how close to the top would you put music?
Music and the venue. I think music and the venue are the top two. You want to get the venue first and then go after the music, because the music's going to make or break the party. You get a DJ like a Craigslist DJ playing off an iPod, you're going to get what you pay for. You get someone like the guys in my business, we're professionals all the way through. From the first time we meet you to the end of the wedding, we kind of walk you through everything. So we're not just DJs, we're kind of like event planners as well.
Event planners, we are the musical hosts, I guess you might want to say.
Yeah, musical hosts. And we come up with like a timeline of how the day is going to roll out. We work with the other vendors, like the coordinator at the banquet facility, the photographer, the videographer. Even like if they have a photo booth there, we even work with those people too, but things like that. So we work with all the vendors to make sure that everything runs smoothly for the event.
And also, if you ask people 10 years from now what they remember most about the wedding,
they're going to remember the food and they're going to remember the entertainment.
The food and the entertainment. Exactly. What is your general strategy that you tell every single one of the DJs? I think you've kind of just covered it.
My thing is, every wedding we do is different, so we kind of like cater it to that couple. Mm-hmm. If that couple just wants strictly country music played at their wedding, we can do that. If they want to mix it up all over the board and have us be interactive, like teaching them how to do the cha-cha slide or to keep it shuffle, we can do that type of thing. Or we can just lay back. If they're laid back, we can lay back and kind of just get them through the formalities and get them through the formalities, and it's up to our client what they want us to do. Right. We're versatile.
Well, what makes it versatile, I think, with your group is the fact that we are a group. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not leading anybody in the cha-cha slide. I am not a dancer. Yep. But you so I've seen pictures of you.
The guys in our business, we got, myself, I own the company, Jamie Parks, who also is in the hospitality business. So you have Jamie. Jamie's very interactive. He's kind of like me. He'll get out there and teach the electric slide and do things like that and get interactive with them, if they're looking for that. Then we have Ron Pryor. Me and Ron been DJs for probably over 20 years together, and he actually DJ'd my wedding back in 2006. So
oh, really?
Ron does a great job.
He did your wedding? That's funny.
Yeah, Ron DJ'd my wedding. Ron's 6'8", 320 pounds. He's very intimidating, but he's like a gentle giant. He also does bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs too, so he's good with kids and things like that. Jamie does bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs along with myself, and you do them as well.
I do them as well.
Then we have Brian Michaels,
who's very low key.
What's that?
He's very low key, Brian Michaels.
Brian's very low. Yeah, well, yeah.
Very, very shy.
I wouldn't send Brian out to do the cha-cha slide either. He does great with the introductions. Yep. I think the introductions set the tone for the whole party.
That's right.
Of how you pronounce the names and going through all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. The things that SEH Entertainment, our company, offers, we offer the online planning and the music database. They can create their music playlist. They can fill out all the bridal party information online. And then typically, the DJ being myself or Ron or you or Brian, we typically contact that client a month before to kind of go over all the details for the event. At that point, we sit down one-to-one and go over the names.
And speaking of names, I just wanted to remind you, you're listening to Scott Hemming from SEH Entertainment. Our subject this week is weddings. This is part 3 of our special series, and the subcategory here is music and DJing. Scott, a lot of people get confused with the order of events of a reception and how we all do it, because we basically do the same type of thing as far as the batting order. Can you explain that?
Typically, after you do introductions, there's a first dance. Sometimes they have the bridal party join
Join
in.
in.
Sometimes they don't.
Right.
It's totally up to them. And then they have the option, they can do parent dances right after their first dance, or they can do parent dances after dinner. A lot of the brides and grooms that I worked with in the last few years, they want to get all the formalities out of the way.
They like to do the photos right up front, too, which I kind of think is a cool idea. Get it all out of the way.
Yeah, they'll do, so typically we'll do introductions, then we'll do first dance, parent dances, and then we invite them to their head table, sweetheart table. They do, typically that's when your toasts happen. After the toast, sometimes there's a blessing before the meal, and then dinner. Once dinner's over with, then we kind of, get the rest of the formalities out of the way. So you got a cake cutting, typically do that right towards the end of dinner, do the cake. And then if they didn't do parent dances after their first dance, we can do parent dances at that point. Bouquet garter if they're doing that. Now and then, believe it or not, you still get requests for the dollar dance.
Dollar
which
dance.
I think is like a
Sure.
tacky 80s thing,
Well,
but there's couples that still, want to do that. So we'll do it. Another dance that I offer is called the anniversary dance, where you have the longest married,
Yeah.
you have the bride and groom on the dance floor along with all married couples, and you count them down till you get the last couple on the dance floor. And I typically set this up at the bride and groom ahead of time. I'll tell them, when I call you off the dance floor, just kind of come over and hang out with me for just two things. One is I'm not going to know the names of the last couple, and secondly, I'm going to give you a bottle of champagne to present to the last couple, and it's nice for picture purposes, and that's something that we kind of include in our deal, and they love that. And I tell you, probably 5 out of 10 weddings that I book, I mention that when I'm meeting with them, and they book me right there because it's things like that.
That's a nice thing to do. Yep. Now, we're all different people. We all have different philosophies. I'll give you my philosophy, and you tell me if you agree. Maybe we can agree to disagree on things, okay?
Yep.
Number one, I like to be interactive with the crowd. I'm sure you agree with that.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't equate a loud wedding as necessarily a good wedding, a loud wedding music-wise. I think there's a time and place for some soft music, and then crank it up. Do you agree? Because I
totally agree with you. Typically, when you do a wedding, it's a 5-hour event. Unless you're doing the ceremony. If you're playing the music for the ceremony, then you would have a second sound system for the ceremony.
Right.
Play the music, your prelude music as your guests are arriving, the song for the bride. It's amazing. They walk down, the song for the bride as they walk down. Typically have a wireless microphone on a stand for the officiant so they can be heard.
Sure.
And then play the exit song. And then once the ceremony's done, then the 5-hour reception starts. You got cocktail hour. I know you play piano, so that's perfect if people want piano. If not, you can just play light instrumental music in the background for the first hour.
Right.
And then the second hour, when
Dinner.
it starts the actual reception,
Right.
you start it off with your introduction, so the volume will turn up a little bit for that.
Sure.
Do your introductions, your first dance, and then your toast, and then you go into dinner, and then you kind of, I'm more of like your adult contemporary style
Same.
music during dinner, like your Frank Sinatra,
Yeah,
Dean
exactly.
Martin, Billy Joel, Elton John, that type of thing during dinner. Maybe a couple country songs in there as well. And then once dinner's over with, I kind of pick it up, get the rest of the formalities out of the way, and then it's party time, and that's when the volume goes up. So during dinner and cocktail time, it's more low-key so people can communicate and visit with each other.
Which is interesting because I went to a wedding on Long Island as a guest, and they do it completely differently there. They were allowed from note one right to the end of the wedding. During the dinner, it was the same volume as when they were dancing. I was really surprised, and you didn't get too many people complaining, which was weird, but I personally wouldn't do that.
Wow.
And if I was hiring a DJ, I wouldn't like it.
And you don't know if that was the request of the bride and groom.
Exactly. But even But even if it was a request of the bride and groom, this is where we may differ. I like to push them to the former way of doing it and tell them that there is a time and place. I think you should really tone it down during dinner.
Yeah, and most people kind of want that.
Right. All right, I'm going to give you a couple other philosophies that I have. Let's see here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't like someone giving me a 100% pre-chosen playlist where I have no choice. I think that hampers the DJ, And sometimes it makes you look like the party pooper if people come up and ask for requests. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, though. You got to kind of go with what the client who's paying you. That's my only thing. When you meet with, if it's a private party, it's different. If it's a wedding and you're meeting with them, you can kind of steer them a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Say, listen, I don't think this is going to work at this point.
Exactly.
You kind of hired me to be your DJ.
Exactly.
I've been doing this for over 30 years.
Right.
I'm giving you my input. If
Same.
they take it or not, that's totally up to them. So it's kind of like one of those type of deals.
Because every time I've gone with it and said, okay, here's your list. This is fine. It's easy for me. I'll just play the songs in the order that you want.
Oh, yeah.
It never works out.
And the majority of the weddings you do are kind of like, they're like, I call them cookie cutter weddings.
Yeah.
They're the same type of thing. I like it when you mix them up a little bit. Like, for example, I got a wedding coming up at the end of this month, and they want heavy metal music during this. And I'm a metalhead, so it works perfectly for me. But I know when the times to play it,
Well, that's right.
There is going to be a variety of people there from the age of 3 to 90, so you don't want to play, you play that stuff later in the night.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You try to tell them that. Exactly. And now, I also think it's a mistake, although I've been to weddings where they've done this, but I think it's a mistake to play every single one fast. I've been to weddings, and there's actually people in my family that have had weddings that have had no slow songs, and I think you're kind of eliminating some of the people who don't want to dance fast, who would like to do a romantic song or two.
Absolutely. Typically, how I roll my weddings out, and 90 to 95% of the weddings go this route, is I'll play, once we get the dancing going, I'll play like 5 to 7 fast songs to see how it's going. If they're going after 7, I might go at max 10 and then slow it down for 1 or 2.
Yep.
Typically, if I go 10, I'll slow it down for 2, and then I'll kick it back up and do 5, 6. If I start to lose them a little bit, then I'll play a slow one to get them back into it.
Because think about it.
Depending on the crowd, too. If it's a younger crowd, then they're going to want to dance.
Right.
But you got to get the slow songs in there, though.
Yeah, you do. You have to mix it up.
Definitely got to get slow songs in there, because the key songs that are going to get people on the dance floor. Like, if nobody gets up on the dance floor for Unchained Melody, there's something wrong.
Exactly.
That's a standard.
That's right.
That or Lone Star Amazed is another one.
Yeah, yep.
Everybody gets up on the dance floor. Or Elvis Presley Can't Help Falling in Love.
Exactly.
Get up on the dance floor.
Isn't that funny? It's funny. Well, I have a background in radio, and radio, they don't play songs on the radio by mistake. They study these songs. A lot of people complain when they listen to the radio, oh my God, you're playing the same songs every day. Well, they do that because they know that those are the songs that get the response. And it's the same thing with weddings. We know from doing it for 30 years apiece, there are those certain songs. Don't put those on the do not play list, because there are some ones you almost have to play. You got to play like Bruno Mars. You got to play like Justin Timberlake, because we know, I don't care who you are and what age you are, you'll dance to those songs.
Oh, absolutely. The only issue is on the do not play list. If they have it on the do not play list, I won't play it, because sometimes it's just like the chicken dance. I see that on the do not play list pretty much 90% of the time, and it doesn't hurt my feelings.
No, right.
Any song they put on the do not play list doesn't hurt my feelings. Yeah. Like this one, for example, this wedding I'm doing, this heavy metal wedding I'm doing at the end of the month, their do not play list is longer than their playlist, and the do not play list is like everything that I always play.
See, this is what I'm saying. And then it
like
really,
the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, all that type of. They don't want none of that type of stuff.
Yeah, but that.
I think Jesse's girl from Rick Springfield's on there. Things like. So I kind of going back. I kind of cater to my client. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't. That's my personal philosophy.
Uh-huh. See, I would feel. I'm just picturing that wedding, and I would feel so uncomfortable the whole time, like, oh my God, I can't play this, I can't play that, I can't play this. And then if it doesn't work and nobody's dancing, then it's on you. That's the problem with that. I've been in situations like that in the past, and I think I strive on them. Actually, it doesn't faze me really. Yeah,
I've done Indian weddings, full blown Indian weddings, where you're playing this Indian techno, and I have no idea what they're talking about, or what the song even means. But people are out there rocking and rolling and having a good time. I keep it going.
I'm doing one this weekend, as a matter of fact. But I told them right ahead. I said I have like 10 of the songs, but I would be afraid to play more than 10 because there's all kinds of people there, and they agreed. They said, "Oh yeah, mix it up." So they have a good philosophy.
That's what you get with when you talk to your client.
That's right. Got to meet with them. You got to meet with them.
And every bride and groom are different. I mean, every wedding is different.
Sure.
I've done weddings where I'm out, outdoor wedding in a tent. All the guests are in a tent. There's a dance floor there. I got a fence with horses running around with my DJ table set up, So it's like, whoa, I was like really. And then you do the ritzy ones where they do nice, expensive weddings. I can do them as well.
Sure, same here.
So we're all versatile.
Yeah. Now, if you want to get in touch with any one of us, can you spit out the numbers and the website and everything for us?
Oh yeah. Our phone number is 518-423-9458. You can visit us on the web at SEHentertainment.com. We have DJ bios, we have customer reviews, we have all that stuff online. You can email any one of our guys. You got Richie at SEH Entertainment, Scott at SEH Entertainment, Ron at SEH Entertainment, Brian at SEH Entertainment, and Jamie at SEH Entertainment.
Well, Scott Hemming, thank you so much. It's great working with you, and thanks for all you do for the Capital Region. Spreading the music around the Capital Region. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Thanks, Richie.
That was Scott E. Hemming from SEH Entertainment at sehentertainment.com, where you can find me and all the other DJs as well. That concludes the music episode. If you want to know more about venues or photography, you can check back to the other 2 episodes that I have, and they both feature venue owner Harvey Vlahos from the Altamont Manor in Altamont, New York. He's not only a venue owner, but he's also a photographer and a videographer, and a very experienced one at that. So we can give you all kinds of information, and that, again, is on the previous 2 episodes of The Wedding Special. If you like the podcast in general, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. This way you'll get notified when there are new podcasts. And all the website addresses and phone numbers, blah, 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 I will have on what's called the show notes from the episode. If you go to Apple iTunes or the Podbean app, you can click on it, and you'll also see a little memo section, underneath where you click on the podcast, and that has all the website information and hopefully links that will link you right there so you don't have to type it in yourself, because I hate when that happens. I hope you'll join me once again as I try as hard as I can to
Take it to the top. To the top.